Redistricting, game on. A militarized DC, this is bullshit. We've got a great show for you tonight. The stake starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tara Setmayer. This is Michelle Kinney. We are the co-founders of the Seneca Project. Welcome to The Stakes. We have got a action-packed, great guest-filled show for you guys tonight because we wanted to bring in an issue expert on the issue of redistricting because, you know, Texas just did a thing and everyone should care why Texas did this and what Gavin Newsom is doing in California and why it matters. So stay tuned for that coming up at the 8 o'clock top of the hour. And in the first half of the hour, we like to bring fantastic Democratic candidates that are running for Congress. Earlier this year, we brought in the candidate running up in Ilyse Stefanik's old district and Blake Gildemine. And now we have another candidate running in New York 17 against Mike Lawler. We're going to bring her in a minute, Cait Conley. She's a badass. And when I saw her her launch video, I said, oh my God, we've got to get this woman on the stakes because as a women-led organization, we love to uplift badass women, particularly those who served and who are running for Congress. So we're going to bring Cait in a second. There's just a bunch of things going on. Like for Michelle and I, it's been a week. I just got back from New York. Michelle and I were hanging out in New York.
Yeah.
And we got to go to the legendary Gloria Steinem's house and sit in the living room where many feminist movement ideas, people, organizations, magazines launched from that living room. And we were invited to a special event there. And it was all
amazing.
All the things to be there. And Gloria Steinem at 91, I think, still killing it.
Still killing it. I'm seeing, do I have the photo here? Here it is.
Yes.
That is us.
There we are.
That is us.
There's Michelle, and I'm in the back there, and there she is in the middle, right?
Yep. Right in the big red chair. And you may recognize some other faces there. Let's see, E. Jean Carroll.
Yes. He's a hoot, by the way.
I know. Let's see, Melissa Murray,
Congresswoman
Soledad O'Brien,
yes.
Congresswoman MacGyver from New Jersey.
Yes.
So it was, and all these women represent organizations or other coalitions, and they're incredible and just an honor to be in their presence and in the room talking about what we do next. We do next, which is very, very important. So
absolutely. And big shout out to Rhonda Fox of Persist for the invite and for bringing us into the gathering of gatherers. And more to come. When you get women like that in a room, things happen.
Amen.
So speaking of things happening, let's bring Cait in because she's trying to make it happen up there in New York, and you're in your neck of the woods, kind of, sort of, Michelle.
Kind of, sort of.
Up there in New York 17, Hudson Valley. Cait, welcome to The Stakes. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you for having me. And ladies, thank you for everything you do, fighting for democracy, honoring the past, and then really charging forward for the future. So it is a privilege to be here tonight. And truly, thank you for all the two of you do.
Oh,
thank you.
Very kind of you. You and thank you for your service, because I think it's so important that we lead with the fact that you are a decorated 16-year veteran of the United States Army. And given everything that women are going through right now in this administration and the assault on women's rights, on our accomplishments, and particularly for women in the military, just your thoughts about the moment that we're in as women.
So, I go back to the moment where I decided to raise my hand and serve. I was a junior in high school when 9/11 happened, growing up in the Hudson Valley. And we saw how our local families were impacted on this day. We lost firefighters, right? We lost people who were going in and trying to save others, putting themselves at risk. And that was my moment of calling to serve. And you had a generation of men and women after those terror attacks who said, if you were coming after my country, if you were coming after my people, you're coming through me first, right? You raise your hand to swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution and defend this country against all enemies. And so I give Demi Moore tremendous credit, because I don't know if she realizes how many women she inspired with her movie G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
Seeing is believing. And so that started my career, where I went off to West Point, became a commissioned officer. And we went through 16 years. Well, I went through 16 years of active duty service, but we as a military service went through literally 2 decades of war fighting for this nation. And I have to tell you, the ultimate equalizer is combat, because what it showed was it didn't matter if you were a man or woman. All that matters is if you could do your job. And country deserves the absolute best to defend it, right? The American people deserve the most effective and capable military force in the world. In order to do that, you must draw from the entirety of America to get the best of it. And so to see what people who've never even done a fraction of what so many in uniform have done sit there and criticize it when they could never hack it, I have no patience. And you know what? This country deserves better. And it disgraces those who have sacrificed. And so it makes me sad, because the men and women in uniform, they deserve better. America deserves better. And we've seen that, whether it's Signalgate, whether it's these policies that are undermining the readiness and resilience of our forces. It is not putting America first.
Amen to that. It's funny you bring up Demi Moore, because on the train, and for those who watch the show regularly know, I have terrible motion sickness.
Oh gosh, yeah, you do. I always feel so bad for you.
Since I was a kid. And so the Acela is a nightmare for me. I hate it. And so I usually have to knock myself out, or like OD on ginger. It's the only thing that gets me through. And what I do is I listen to podcasts, because I cannot do any work on the train. If I open my laptop or anything, I'll be like green in 30 seconds. It's so bad. So anyway, I just listened to a podcast about Demi Moore and her upbringing and her life story. Just listen to it coming home today. And what she went through was unbelievable. A lot of people, if you don't know, folks should really look into her. She had a rough time as a young girl. And but her story of G.I. Jane and her wanting to do that, and the inspiration for so many women, and even though the movie tanked initially in the box office, for women, people have no idea what that did. Over here, you say that because a lot of at the time in the 90s, it was always like a joke. It was like, oh,
yeah, it was like, right. And I'm sure it didn't do well, because people couldn't imagine women in combat, or imagine women being represented in that way in a film. And it's so, I mean, it's amazing
now.
Oh my gosh, I know. And Cait, it's so funny you say this, because I have a sister-in-law who served in the Marine Corps for 20 years. And similarly, it was because of 9/11 that she decided to serve as well. And I think seeing Demi Moore in A Few Good Men was the reason, because, my sister-in-law ended up being a JAG in the Marines. And so seeing her represented there too was meaningful. So that's really, really funny. But it's, I just wanted to piggyback on that, because what would you tell a woman today who wants to enter the military and serve her country, given the circumstances of what's going on, especially with Pete Hegseth and his cohorts?
There is no greater honor than to wear the uniform and the flag. And think of the privilege of wearing that and honoring the generations before you. Because when you put that uniform on, you don't do it for a political party or a president or who's in power or not. It doesn't matter. You're doing it for the values that America represents and for a country that you love. I have to tell you, during those years when I'd come home and visit my family, I'd go back to West Point sometimes to just watch. And if folks haven't been there, I really encourage it.
It's a special place.
It's a beautiful campus too.
You go there and you see young men and women from all 50 states, from families that are some of the wealthiest in the country to some of the poorest. And no one cares and nothing matters. What they're there to do is to support and defend a constitution that they love and to sacrifice for a country that they love. And it is just such a beautiful reflection, I think, of the values that this country was founded on and that we have to continue to fight for. But it's this special place where you recognize that idealism isn't dead, right? And that young men and women across this country can and will come together and do the right thing together. And again, they're coming from families that span the political spectrum. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have to focus on. What brings us together as a country?
I think that's such a great and encouraging answer, because there are so many who want to serve this country with honor and still believe in what that flag represents. And it's so difficult sometimes to wade through what Donald Trump has done to those symbols and to those institutions. I mean, the other day, comparing himself to a war hero because of, I don't know,
I couldn't believe that. That was actually one of, I didn't know he could still shock me, but
right?
That was pretty bad.
We want to talk about stolen valor. How dare he? He's a freaking draft dodger. But but it's because he wishes he could be the fraction of the honorable servants that you and others who wear the uniform are, because he's a coward. And so, I have so much respect, particularly for women. I come from a law enforcement family, and we're a very blue collar. Michelle comes from a firefighting family. So we appreciate your background and your desire to serve, because although we didn't wear the uniform, what we do every day and why we do this is another form of service, so that we can honor what you guys do and honor you. When you said that our men and women in uniform deserve better, I could not agree with you more. And when it comes to anyone questioning whether you or anyone else deserves to be where you are because of DEI, I'm sorry, you're talking MIT and Harvard right here. Okay, folks, Cait, you think anyone's going to tell her that she's a DEI hire or candidate? I want to show folks your campaign ad. And then we're going to talk about your campaign.
Ops community, there's a saying, run to the sound of the guns. That's what I've done my entire life. Joining the Army after 9/11, combat zones like Iraq and Afghanistan, hunting down brutal terrorists. Protecting what makes this country great is why I'm running now. Because the politicians who created this mess are not going to be the ones who fix it. How do you tolerate what's being done to our country, to New York? The answer is you don't. I fought for my country, fought to protect our democracy, and now I'm ready to fight for New Yorkers. Let's go.
This is amazing.
Yes. Now, I saw that ad before Chin Up Gate with Pete Hegseth. Right. Okay, my money's on you, Cait. My money's on you.
You can't even make this stuff up. The one today, man, where, if you need that much help, just save yourself.
So tell us, first of all.
Sorry, it's just so easy.
It is, I know. It's between him and JD Vance, my God. So Cait, first of all, bravo on that launch ad.
Yeah, it's great.
Democrats need to be more bold. We say this all the time. We're a content organization. We do very bold things. We don't ask for permission. Tell us about what made you decide to go that route with your announcement ad, and why you decided. What was the moment when you said, fuck this, I'm running for Congress?
I talked about that moment in life when I was a junior in high school, 9/11 happened. Coming out of the election in November was the second moment like that for me in life, where I felt like the country I love was losing itself, right? When you saw the division internally, when you saw a Democratic Party fail to connect with the majority of Americans. We didn't just lose the popular vote. We lost battleground states. We lost nearly 90% of counties.
Right.
We are losing America. And I have to tell you, I am a firm believer where I think our country is at its best when we have two healthy political parties who can differ on the path, but we share the same end goal, which is what is the best thing for our country in the future. And I think right now we've got two pretty broken political parties. I think both need to reinvent themselves and remember their roots and what they're supposed to be doing. And so when I saw the Democratic Party, a party that I do love, listen, when I joined the Army, so I'm gay. When I joined the Army, it was still under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, both at West Point and my first several years as a police officer. And I have to tell you, when I'm out there literally fighting for this country, the only party that was fighting for me was the Democratic Party. And I think that, again, is because the Democratic Party is the party that fights for all Americans to have equal protections under the law, to be able to make their own healthcare decisions for them and their family, to tell the government to stay the hell out of it. This is about equality and freedom for all Americans, period. And so when I saw the party that I love fail that badly, and people like me feel a bit turned off by some of how it was being conducted, I was like, we have to fix this. And where I come from, they teach you to be the change you want to see. They teach you to lead by example. And so when I learned that we weren't going to fix this ourselves, and that the crucible of this fight was home in New York 17, and a guy named Mike Lawler, who has the audacity to do nothing but further Trump's lies, was representing my family. Like, that's not going to stand. And so I do feel like we are part of the next generation that's trying to build a Democratic brand that is different, that focuses on delivering for people and recognizes the fact that Americans across this country, to include right here in New York 17, feel like the American dream doesn't exist anymore. You know, I'm a product of it. Neither of my parents graduated from college. I got to do West Point and Harvard and MIT because we live in America. And you can create those opportunities. And I don't feel like families today feel like that path is true. And we have to fix that. And the Democratic Party needs to lead how to fix that. So that's why I'm doing this, because I want to make America work for working Americans and give kids the same path I did, right? That same hope.
I mean, I've been a Democrat since I, could vote, and I could not agree with you more, because I've always thought that Democrats have the better story to tell, because at the end of the day, to your point, work for, we're out there, well, hopefully working for working people and for the American dream. And, Tara was on the other side of the aisle for many years.
I was one of the good ones.
I know you were one of the good ones, and we love you. And now you're in the good fight with us.
Yes.
But coming back to your opponent, Mike Lawler, who loves to tout himself as this like moderate Republican, and he is anything but.
Yeah. He was on CNN today going on about the redistricting. And I was thinking to myself, you're in a very, very close district. That district right there is one of the swing districts that is being targeted by everybody, which is why Cait has such a great shot. But go ahead. I know you have something, Michelle.
Well, no, I was curious where you see your path to victory over somebody like Mike Lawler in New York 17. Like, what's your strategy?
So, if Mike Lawler was the person he claimed to be, I wouldn't be doing this. If I actually thought he was one of the good guys and he was the true public servant that he claims he is, putting people first, I wouldn't be doing this. But we have seen who he really is. And there is nothing more important to Mike Lawler than his own political ambitions. And we saw that as he tried to convince Trump to give him the nod for the New York governor's race. He doesn't care about the people of New York 17. He was willing to throw out everything he promised for his own political advancement. Where I come from, public service is about the people. And the minute you forget that, you lose the privilege of leading. And so he needs a reminder of what this is supposed to be about. And where I come from, when you fail to live up to those ethos, you fail to demonstrate that character, you are not the leader we need. So you need to go. And that's what we're setting out to do. And so New York 17, what I love about it is such an amazing cross-section that represents America. 28% of registered voters in New York 17 are unaffiliated or independent. The only way you win this district is if you can win not just your party, but people. To get them to choose you as a person over a political party. And so, Mike Lawler's beaten politicians before. He's never faced a patriot like me. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
I want to move there so I can vote for you.
I know. I'm like, do I know anybody in New York 17?
I know. Who do we know? I think
Anna lives there. Yeah.
But to your point, Michelle, when we talk about why and how, I can't stand Lawler. I think he's a terrible person. I think he has failed to deliver for the families that need him most here. But I will say, it's not just what we're fighting against, it's what we're fighting for.
Yes.
I love this country. I am doing this because I love this country more than anything. And I do believe our best days are still ahead of us if we do the hard work to make that real. And I don't believe people like Mike Lawler are willing to do that. And so this is where we have to seize this moment. We have to be the leaders that our country needs. And I keep telling the story. There was something I used to say to my soldiers: doing the right thing when it's easy, that's just doing your job. Doing the right thing when it's hard, when it comes at personal sacrifice and risk, that is courage. And how are you going to live your life in this moment where your country needs you? Will you live with courage?
That's right.
Man.
For those who don't know who Mike Lawler is, Michelle, you have a clip of him, don't you?
Well, I don't have a clip. I just have
Oh.
like a weird New York Times story about him.
Oh, it doesn't show his face?
Well, it does, yes.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Where is it here?
Because
Here
I
it is.
think a lot of people may recognize his
may
face.
pop up.
Yeah.
So this is
There
him.
you
This was it last year. This came out in October. Now this story of him came up. That's what he looks like, of him being in blackface as Michael Jackson, because he was so obsessed with Michael Jackson that he got in touch with one of Michael Jackson's biographers, and his family flew him to California to sit through Michael Jackson's trial.
How old was he?
Like in high school.
Oh my God, that's just weird.
Right. I was like, and I bring that up just obviously the blackface is obviously terrible, but like he's just like an odd duck. Like he's an odd guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know who he is really. And
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either.
Which is a vulnerability, and that's besides all of his, apologizing for Trump, even though he tries to act like he's not a MAGA.
Right, he tries to play both sides.
Right, and
that's what he does.
It's not going to work. Cait, I have a question for you as someone who wore the uniform. How do you feel about what's happening in DC? Because I got off the train today and I walked out to Union Station. I mean, I've lived in the DC area for 30 years. I'm from New Jersey originally, and my heart is still always in Jersey, as everyone knows. But I still love DC. It's such a beautiful city. I'm still in awe of the Capitol and the monuments and things, even 30 years later. I walked out from Union Station just to take a look around to see for myself. And I saw National Guard soldiers and I saw Humvees, and it made me angry and sick to my stomach. And I thought, what the hell are we doing? I can't imagine how it feels for someone like you, who knows the value of wearing that uniform, and to see that deployed on American streets. I just would like for you to explain to people why we're not overreacting about this.
The U.S. military is trained to defend this nation against enemies, right? They're trained for combat. They're trained to go after the most aggressive terrorists in the world. They're trained to defeat our most sophisticated strategic military adversaries in the world. They're not supposed to be patrolling streets, doing crowd control because people are too insecure and are trying to get a photo op. It is a disrespect towards the uniform, and it really puts tension on what is this critical relationship that I think, again, is something of what makes America so special, which is this relationship between its military and its civilian oversight and the Constitution. And I have to tell you, I've traveled the world, and what we have is so unique and so special. And it crushes me to see this man who didn't have the courage to serve go out there and continue to make decisions that try to deliberately diminish that connection between the American people and those who have sworn to defend them. And I do think in some ways this is very deliberate, where they're trying to diminish the federal institutions, to discredit them, to degrade them. And we can't let that happen. It's not even just the military, what they've done to the federal public service, to the intelligence community,
oh gosh,
to federal law enforcement, to people who've been career public servants putting America first. And so, again, this just goes back to America is not better today because of these decisions. America is not safer or stronger. And so we can't tolerate this. We can't allow ourselves to think this is the new normal. It's not. And it's not the fault of those in uniform.
Yeah.
It's the fault of those politically appointed above them who are telling them to do these things. So this goes back to why we need to win the House in 26. We need oversight. We need people who are actually sitting there checking the federal government, because right now that doesn't exist. The checks and balances of three separate but equal branches of government, that's not real in America today. And that can't continue. So we have to take back the House so we can check this bullshit and bring America back to the country we're proud of.
Amen to that, sister.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's right.
I find you incredibly inspiring, Cait. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad we get to talk to you today and meet you, because fantastic.
Yes. And in the words of candidate Cait Conley, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Where can people find you who want to support your candidacy? Shout out to so our followers can support you.
Yeah, it's just www.caitconley.com. Please come check us out. We certainly need all the support we can get as I take on this fight against this guy, Mike Lawler. You know, everything you do to help us have the ammunition to bring this fight to him and to win this seat back so we can win the House back. I promise we'll fight to make you proud. And we're going to fight to win. I'm sick of fucking losing. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Bravo. Bravo. Cait, thank you so much. You are welcome back anytime.
Please do come back. Yes.
As the election heats up, we'd love to have you back. And plus, you have expertise in cybersecurity and national security issues, which we we'll be talking about, I'm sure, more as things unfold, given what the hell's going on in this administration. So we'd love to have you back to talk about some of those things too. So you're welcome anytime.
I'm here. I love you. Let's do this. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you, Cait. Thank you so much for being
everybody.
Here. Ugh, what a delight.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what
I'm talking about. Yes, and yes. Democrats who are not afraid to say it like it is, that talk like normal people, that are badasses. Okay. When I saw her launch ad, seriously, I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
Listen. Some people,
and her background too is
well,
great.
Right. And
She's
you know
like a
me,
regular blue collar, grew up in Hudson Valley.
Regular person.
Yeah, her
regular
mom
person.
I think her mom worked for the mail service, and her dad worked in a factory or something. Like they're like normal people.
Normal, average Americans who understand the struggles of what it is to be an American, but also the greatness of what it is to be American and the opportunities that, all of that affords you. And I just find her incredibly smart and inspiring. And she is the kind of fighter that we are all begging for.
And she's the kind of candidate that people need to see that Democrats are capable of putting up. Okay. She represents the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
And especially as women in this moment now, like I said, let any one of those pussy ass bastards tell her that she's some DEI candidate.
Oh, please.
Okay.
I'm like, and this is where I'm like, I want to see Mike Lawler try to defend in a debate Pete Hegseth and this, as the Secretary of Defense, saying that he doesn't want women serving in combat.
Yes.
Try and defend that.
That's right.
Make these people own it.
Yes.
All
and
of
this
them.
is New York. Okay. This is it.
Right.
And this, no disparaging Podunk, New York, because upstate New York and
I'm
the
from
rural
Podunk,
areas.
New York.
I know, but they're beautiful. But Hudson Valley isn't Podunk, New York, is what I'm saying.
Well, it's not. It's the suburbs. It's the suburbs. It's a lot of people. Listen, a lot of people work there, but a lot of people also commute in.
Yes.
And there's a lot of Metro North trains, people coming in and out, but it's also one of the most stunningly beautiful places.
It's so nice
in the state. It is gorgeous.
Yep.
But I will say the people of Podunk, New York, where I'm from.
That's why I can bust you about it.
In New York's 21st congressional district, which is red. Let me tell you about the great people of Plattsburgh, New York, because I would love to play this clip of my favorite person, Ilyse Stefanik. She was showing up to an event. I think it was to honor some local official or something who had passed away or something. And I just have to play this because it's too good.
You, our Congresswoman from New York 21, Ilyse Stefanik.
Thank you,
It's
Mark,
so
for
good.
that
It just
kind
isn't
introduction.
stopping.
Not they had to get the shush. Oh my God. Good.
It is truly humbling to be here to commemorate and honor the great John Zerlo. I'm going to turn this back to you, Mark. The crowd is not being respectful. John's on low, he's deeply respectful. I'm going to turn it back to you.
Oh my God. I mean, I hate that I don't know who they were memorializing, and you kind of feel a little icky about the memorial.
Well, that's
thing.
what her, she was like, oh, we're here and we're having a very serious time.
But
and these
you know
far
what?
left Democrats and the thing.
Whatever.
Listen, this is, and our next guest is here. I'm very excited, but I just wanted to say this really quick. This is a woman who has been serving the North Country for, I forget how long, but a long time at this point. She does not hold public town halls. She doesn't do it. And if she does do it, they're an invite only, or they're the teletown halls. She does not meet her constituents anywhere. She and her staff are keep her very right. She keeps her staff, they protect her, and they don't put her in any scenario where she's going to be caught off guard. So you could see it in her face, like the fire coming up. She was like and I was like, I'm telling you, this is sending a message, and this is the canary in the coal mine for the Republicans. And I know Democrats were in a tough spot too right now, but the Republicans are not popular for what they're doing to the American people. So anyways,
that's actually a good segue into our next guest, because what they've just done in Texas, I don't think the American people are going to like this too much once they start paying more attention to it, which is why I'm happy to bring in a different Ilyse, an Ilyse that we actually like.
Yes. Hello, welcome.
Welcome, Ilyse.
I was going to say, I hope I get a better introduction than my counterpart, Ilyse Stefanik, out there in Plattsburgh.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're not an awful human being. Well, thank you for joining us. You're not an awful human being, so you are welcome here anytime. You will not get booed by us. Ilyse is the author and co-founder of the All-American on Substack. She describes herself as a democracy activist, which I love, democracy strategist, because we're all about that, since we love to galvanize women to help save democracy. And you also have a pedigree in the women's rights space, reproductive space, which we'll get to in a little bit with your work with NARAL. But let's talk Texas. We want to talk about something that is going to get a lot of boos, I think, from people who will feel disenfranchised because the Republicans are trying to rig the elections. As we're live now, I believe that the Texas Senate has voted to approve the map, so it will be official by the time we're done here. Please explain to the American people why we should give a damn about what Texas just did.
Well, I am a Texan. I don't know if you all know that. So that is, it. Other than the fact that there's some very good people in Texas who really need national support because we are down there truly the canaries in the coal mine. Look, Texas has long been the sort of lab for authoritarianism. It is the place where, pursuant to what you said about my history with reproductive rights, it's where they ended up going into like a third special session in 2014 to pass, at the time, what was considered one of the most draconian abortion bans in the country. But really what they're saying is, can we get away with this? Yeah. Can we show in Texas that we can get away with it? And therefore, we have the long shadow of inevitability that crawls across the rest of the country. If it can happen in Texas and we can't make a stand and we can't stop it, then it's going to be easier for the rest of those dominoes to fall. Yep. And so I think on one hand, that's a reason to care about Texas. And on the other hand, I think to your point, Michelle, and there's a lot to unpack here about, the Democrats' challenges and the Republicans' challenges. I do think they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this election because they are so worried about the hole that they are in. So Texas should be an indication of that as well.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason Texas is the canary in the coal mine for a few things. That's where they would beta test basically textbooks and things like that. And I believe that was the infamous Wendy Davis in a diaper filibuster episode, right?
And the sneakers and the pink sneakers, right? Yeah, that was great.
In fact, I flew home early from my honeymoon to be there for the end of that filibuster.
That's fantastic. I remember watching that. It was great.
very, very supportive husband for, putting me on that plane.
God bless him. That I hope he's still your husband, because that
Yes,
sounds like a good one. Good. All right. So I think a lot of people are unclear about how Texas is able to get away with this. And it's important that I think everyone understands that what Donald Trump did by basically bullying them into, this is what I want, so you're going to do it. And they're like, okay. That he thinks that now, even with mail-in voting, and that was another petri dish with the mail-in ballots and ballot drop boxes and access. They were trying to mess with that in Texas from the 2020 election. Like, people need to understand that our states each control how they conduct elections. So if they like, well, so what? Texas is doing this. What difference does it make? But it's important for folks to understand how Texas was able to get away with this and why this could proliferate into other states, and why what Gavin Newsom is doing in California matters. I just don't think that everybody understands fully like how they can do it and why are other states going to do it. Like, what's going on? There's some confusion.
Yeah, and I think confusion is baked into the move, right? I mean, it doesn't break down logically. Democrats like to point to all of the process violations as though that is going to somehow create this groundswell of opposition, when in fact most process issues put people to sleep. And it's, I think, to your point, well, let me tell you one other scary thing about Texas that I think people don't know. But in the lead up to 2024, the state legislature there passed a law that revoked local authority over elections. So generally, local election officials get to certify or not certify elections. But because what we've seen in Texas is the urban areas that are disproportionately blue, they have greater and greater population, and Texas needed to tamp that down. So they actually took election authority away from the localities, in part in response to what Harris County was doing, which was really electing all of these amazing female judges. I don't know if you remember, but there were 19 female judges elected in Harris County. So that is something to pay attention to too, because that local certification of elections is a check and balance against these repressive state governments, and Texas was the canary in the coal mine for that. But I want to get back to the greater point, and I think this sowing of confusion is really important because none of this is logical, right? You look at the mail-in ballot stuff and you start to see actually Republicans have been gaining on Democrats in mail-in ballots. So why would Trump do that? The gerrymandering obviously seems like a bridge too far, and like, especially with Gavin's clapback, I think that, people are waking up to it. But the reality is, when you rely on a concentrated amount of minority support, confusion is your friend, because confusion depresses civic participation. If people are so confused, or they think it's not going to matter, or again, long shadow of inevitability, right? Like, it's so gerrymandered that it's going to go red anyway, then you're not going to show up, because we make voting really hard in this country. And I'll throw a wrench in there too, because I really think all of this for Donald Trump particularly is about seeing testing who is in his tank, testing who's going to obey in advance of 2028. The reason they care about the House is for certification in 2028. The entire project from this year has been concentrated in executive power. They don't need the House to legislate. They have so much concentrated power in the executive branch. This is all about the certification of 2028, a potential third term for Donald Trump. And if not him, because, maybe he won't be here anymore, he's an old guy, then his name's successor, right?
I think that you're one of the first people to bring up the 2028 part of this and the importance of the certification. We were warning after 2020 that Donald Trump wasn't going away.
Like, stop calling him the former guy. He's not the former guy. He's still here. Like,
that's right.
This isn't going to end.
And look what they did. They spent 4 years. They wrote a manifesto and a playbook of what they were going to do next, all so that to make it more difficult to stop them from doing what they did and tried to do in 2021. It was basically a practice run. And so what you're saying now, I think, is really important for people to understand that what's happening right now is a practice run for what they want to do in 2028. Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, no, I was wondering if I could play one of the longer, it's not super long, I'm just there because there's a long and a short version of this. The Newsom video that he put out that's part of the election, I forget what it's called, but I'd love to play this because he does talk about the 2028 thing and how he got a 2028 hat in the mail.
Oh yeah, they're in the White House. Like when you just saw the Azerbaijan and Armenian heads of state were in the White House. So Donald Trump, just for people who don't know, off the Oval Office in the White House, he's got like a fucking gift shop now,
which is supposed to be a small private office for the president to do business outside of the
And he turned it into, of course, a Trump gift shop, and they're selling or giving away whatever. Trump 2028 hats. Yeah. Like it's there and printed. He thinks it's a joke. Oh, they want me to. No. Okay. It's gross. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I'm just going to play
this. Your point, Tara, hiding in plain sight. I mean,
yes.
They're always telling us.
Groundwork in Project 2025 was for the potential third term.
Yep.
Always. Let me just play this here.
It is a 5-alarm fire for democracy in the United States of America. Donald Trump, who's trying to light a torch on democracy, continue to try to rig the election. His agenda is failing. This presidency is failing. He knows the headwinds in a midterm. Now he's dialing up for seats. He called Greg Abbott, who doesn't have the courage, doesn't have the conscience, and he has rolled over and he said, yes, sir, and. So we have got to step up. We tried to play by a higher set of standards and rules with our independent redistricting, and we believe in that. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent of the people, and that's the difference between the approach we're taking and the approach they're taking. There are no rules for Donald Trump. And this is a serious moment in American history. And so we are here to meet this moment head on. We will not be complicit.
You must talk about the hat and the other one, but I'm
so glad you played that because that is how you come out of the gate and say, damn that. This is what he said. These are emergency measures to respond to the 5-alarm fire that's going on, not only in Texas, but in our country because of Donald Trump. I swear to God, every Democrat should be singing from the same songbook, okay, that Gavin Newsom is doing right now with this level of passion, ferocity, and no nonsense. And he had to pivot because earlier this year, we were like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I was like, Charlie Kirk, really?
Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon? I don't know. What are you doing? No. Let's fire those consultants.
Yeah.
Whoever gave you that advice.
Good course correction. Good course correction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, no.
Yes.
I would add one adjective to that list that you put out there about Governor Newsom. It's strategic and it's well explained to people.
Yes.
Right? It's not like tit for tat. It's I planned for this because we might need it, but we're going to do it a little bit differently, a little bit more democratically, and we're not overreaching. We're just keeping the balance, right?
Yep, right.
And I think that makes him an honest broker in the minds of the public. But the flair with which he has done this has been fabulous. I was talking to Mike Nellis on his show earlier today. And for those of us who worked as social media consultants, like the leash he must have given his team is just the envy of every digital media team in the country right now.
Oh my gosh. I think there's no leash. He said, like, whenever they made that decision,
say whatever.
Like, that's great. Go for it. Because they have carte blanche. And the funny thing is to watch Fox News and MAGA just totally lose their shit and melt down over this and go and have it's like you guys are so in the cult you don't realize the joke is on you. Like everything that they're saying about Gavin Newsom's social media, they could cut that into an ad. I mean, we're ad makers here, so of course we look at through those lens, apply that lens, and you're talking about your own guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's childish.
Like he's
it's
so
over the top.
inappropriate. This is so off.
You're the governor of California. Don't you have anything more important to do? I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He was in the White House.
Exactly. I'm going to play this clip today that you sent from Fox News. I would just like to play this real quick.
I get it. Some people might not like how Gavin Newsom is talking. You might not find his posts funny. It is absolutely working. His fundraising numbers for this just came out, 6.2 million from this week, 200,000 individual donors, and we have been having a problem in activating these donors.
Do you want him to be your nominee? Is he the guy?
I don't know. He's going to have to be in the primary with everyone else.
Because he has no achievements.
He is eating up the attention right now. He is on every single high-rated show. Jesse's talking. Nobody who votes like you likes him, but every Democrat that I've spoken to has said, finally, someone is fighting for us.
But he has.
Yep.
No accomplishments. I'm sorry. What did Donald Trump accomplish other than bankrupting casinos and having, 3 wives and 5
killing
kids?
1 million people from COVID?
Right. No, I mean before he ran the first time.
Oh yeah. I mean,
being a reality show joke. Explain.
I think everyone is so focused on Gavin's metrics and they're off the charts because he's hit a nerve, right? Like he's met that visceral need for response. But what someone else pointed out, I can't remember, someone over at the Bulwark pointed out earlier today is he's the first person that got Trump to stop writing in all caps.
Yes.
And I think what we're seeing in second term is the power of mockery.
Yes.
And satire, right? Like this is coming on the heels of the South Park stuff. That's what you do with a bully. You don't treat them that like they're this fearsome, terrifying character. You make fun of them because they are really small people who are
in more ways than one.
Very hard to follow that.
Yes, you're right. That's what you do to a bully. And we say that all the time. I mean, that's partially why for us here at Seneca, for Michelle and I, if you look at our ads and the way that we approach things, like we don't ask permission. We're not worried about, can we get out of here? No, yes, we're going to. We don't have time for that. There's no time for pearl clutching here. Are you kidding me? The country's on fire.
Yeah.
DC, there are troops in DC, terrorizing people. There were troops in LA terrorizing people. I mean, this is there needs to be, you have to match the moment. And I think a lot of Democrats have been kind of dragging their asses here and not meeting the moment. And Gavin Newsom saw an opportunity, and credit to him and his team. They're meeting the moment. There's a reason why he's up, 20 points from where he was in June. The day that he said to Donald Trump, when Donald Trump was talking about arresting him, he said, "Come and get me." I think that's when everyone was like,
I was like, hello.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
Finally. Yeah. Finally.
I dare you to do it. Has he done it? No, because he can't. Not legally anyway. I mean, if he starts arresting governors for shit, then we're going to be in a whole nother world of hurt with this country. But I mean, listen, we're not far away from it. Everything he's doing is a petri dish. Like you said, it's like Texas with that. He's testing it out. Same thing with what he's doing in DC. Today, I come home from the train, put on the news. He's over there at the Park Police headquarters.
Oh yeah, he's walking around today.
And he's like, well, we're going to be here for a little while. Then we're going to take, we're going to take it elsewhere. And I'm like, did anybody catch that? Am I the only one? He's planning on trying this in other cities. We know this because of the memos coming out of the the Pentagon getting leaked about how they want to militarize our cities. It's crazy. But anyway, before we let you go, Ilyse, I wanted to ask you about some of your work that you've done for women and women's reproductive rights and where you see those issues right now and what women can do. Because I know that even for us, we were like, oh my gosh, if we don't we need to start reminding people. That's why our show's called The Stakes. What's at stake here, even beyond just fighting for our rights as women. but we got to save the democracy first, because otherwise everything else down below,
nothing else matters.
But I think it's important for folks to know some of the things that you worked on and kind of where we are as women in this space. Should we still be, because some people think, well, because they're so distracted by other things, but we still have to pay attention.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's not an either or. The book that I wrote in 2020 called The Lie That Binds actually pointed out very specifically how the rise of strongmen and authoritarians is completely intertwined with gender oppression, right? All over the world, and you see that they start to put women in their place, very rigid gender roles, absolutely taking reproductive autonomy out of the hands of women. These are one and the same. They can't be extricated. And I think that's really important for people to understand, because they really wanted you to forget about their track record in 2024. I have never seen Republicans dance as hard and as fast as they did in 2024 to distance themselves from their record on abortion bans, reproductive oppression writ large, their squeamishness,
the IVF stuff
on contraception. I mean, I was tracking every straight to camera ad of a frontline Republican saying, no, really, I was just for states' rights that whole time. I'm done now. And so it is crucially important, to your point, to remind not just women, but people all across the country that they are not done. They've gone quiet, but in the states where they have control, women are still dying. They're actually getting more extreme. They're trying to pull back contraception. And that not only takes endangers women and women's lives, but it really takes these issues that are family issues out of the hands of the family and puts them into the hands of big government. And that is not where anyone wants them, no matter whether you are male, female, non-binary, whatever. You do not want your fate, your body, and your life in the hands of an authoritarian government. And, what I will tell you, one thing to keep an eye on right now is a case that is moving through Idaho, where the Biden administration had sued the state of Idaho, saying that they had to treat women in emergency rooms, even if it meant terminating a pregnancy. The Trump administration dropped that case because they didn't want to get at odds with their anti-choice base or their red state governments. But a group of healthcare providers picked it up in Idaho, and we will see that inevitably making its way through the circuit court back up to the Supreme Court. And this is a question of whether this government is actually going to stand by while women are bleeding out in parking lots, or use the power that they have through a law called EMTALA, which is emergency rooms should take care of patients no matter what, and make sure that women in red states get the same care when their lives are on the line as everyone else.
Yeah.
We should make that an election issue.
We tried.
Right.
We tried last year.
Yeah.
But you're right. And I think that there was a certain amount, well, there was a lot of passes given by the media, but as soon as Trump came out and was like, I'm not going to do a national abortion ban, then everybody was just like, okay.
And that's why the measures passed, because people saw it in their states. They say, okay, well, I'm going to use my right to vote to, enshrine my rights in my state. But, Donald Trump said he's not going to do anything. So I'm going to vote for him too. And
because he said he won't do it. And it was
I'm like, oh yeah, Mr. I tell the truth about everything. And it's just, it is, I don't understand. And I say this all the time to Tara, is that a lack of imagination is a very, very dangerous thing. And to your point, Ilyse, is, they're talking, the mainstream now on the right is talking about repealing the 19th Amendment. My God. So if people don't think they're coming for all of it, I mean, ladies, we better giddy up.
Yeah, this has been the plan since Seneca Falls. Progress is met with backlash, but it's only when we fall asleep, when we get complacent, that they gain the upper hand. So to your point, Michelle, doesn't matter if you live in a state where this is happening or not happening. And people would do well to remind President Trump that they have higher expectations of him not just getting out of the way of what states want to do, but saving women's lives by making sure this is a country that's safe. He won't do it. We know that. But until he's asked those hard questions, he gets to coast along as though this is no longer an issue.
Well, not if we can help it. That's why we started the Seneca Project. That's why we're still here. And we're grateful for women like you who have been in this space for so many years and continue to speak out. And thank you for all of your work. Check out Ilyse, the good Ilyse Hogue over on Substack, co-founder of the All-American. And check out her cool book that she wrote about that. It's also in line with like Ruth Ben-Ghiat, who's on our advisory board. She talks about that, the importance of authoritarians taking out women because that they are a threat to the state. So this is another excellent book to read about those kinds of things, The Life That Binds. And Ilyse, you are welcome back anytime. And, I'm sure there's going to be more for us to talk about as the midterm elections approach.
I love what you guys do. Thank you. Please keep on doing it.
Thanks, Ilyse.
Same.
Take care.
Yeah, it's an evening full of badass women, and I like that.
Listen. I often find myself in despair. I mean, it's peppered throughout, the week because, as you know, we open our phones, we turn our TVs on, we open the New York Times, and it's just bad news, bad news, bad news. And you start to ask yourself, like, am I just rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic? Like, what? But I meet people like Cait Conley. I meet people like Ilyse Hogue. And I'm like, you know what? There's a whole bunch of us. And we're smart. And we're incredibly capable and dedicated. And we're not going down.
No.
Not like this.
Nope. Not without a fight.
Not without a fight. And so, there are times that it feels really hard, but we have to keep looking at each other and making eye contact and having these conversations, like the one we did in Gloria Steinem's living room on Tuesday. Because we are reminded about how many of us are fighting, because they're the loudest people in the room always. They're loud and wrong. And they're loud and wrong, and they drown us out, and we have to be loud. We have to be loud always. We cannot stop. And it's that chilling effect, Tara, that that is the scariest thing to me, is people in places of power, people in places of power in American business, in media, that feel how we feel, but are afraid to say anything.
Over.
Right. Or because they don't want an investigation, or they don't want to be audited, or they don't want to be this. And I'm like, well, but if it's all of us, they can't investigate all of us.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Be brave. Have courage.
What Cait said earlier today.
Yes.
Right. It's not about what you do when it's easy. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's courage when you do it when it's hard, at great personal sacrifice and risk.
Yeah.
And that's it. Hopefully more people will subscribe to that, especially in the moment that we're in. We are in a 5-alarm fire here.
Yeah.
Second chance at this. A lot of people say, oh, well, we've been here before. Kind of.
Different weapons, different means of communicating, different means of, like, the people. There are so many circumstances that are very, very different.
That's what I mean.
It's comparable, maybe, sort of, in the fact that we are divided. But beyond that,
they could have said the same thing about World War II. Well, we fought the First World War. We've been here before. Yeah, but you didn't have nuclear weapons then.
No.
Okay.
No. The guns look a little different this time.
You know what I mean? Same thing here. The weapons are a little different this time.
Right.
So you got to play the game that you're in.
Listen, I mean, I don't want to freak people out here, but we are living in a surveillance state in a lot of ways. I mean, there are cameras everywhere we go. They're listening to us all the time. And
the guy in Palantir has all our data. Big balls.
They have all of our data, our health information, our tax information, finance information. And this is why, and I mean, this is probably an unpopular opinion, shitty take, but I'm like, turn off the things in your house that are listening to you, that you talk to. Like, you know, I know people love their Amazon Alexas and things like that, but I'm like, eventually, it's just, you know.
I know. Wasn't there a movie like that? There was some movie, like, I think it was The Kingsman, where I forgot what it was. They had like some implants or something on them. They thought it was something else, and then they turned them all on. Everybody turned into, like, you know,
right. It's
controlled
like
by
Black Mirror stuff.
I know.
It's cuckoo times.
It is.
And you know, I would actually like to show one more of this Gavin Newsom thing because it gives me life. I want to show the shorter of the two. Let me put it up.
Wake up, America. Wake up to what Donald Trump is doing. Here he is once again trying to rig the system. He doesn't believe in the rules. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district. We have got to meet fire with fire. We're asking the voters for their consent to do midterm redistricting to level the playing field all across the United States. On November 4th, you have the power to stand up to Trump. Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. This is a serious moment. Wake up.
I mean, I feel like he's been listening to us.
I know.
And a lot of what he's saying is things that we've been saying since November of last year. I mean, before that, but I mean, like, really after that, we were one of the first ones that were like, guys,
wake up,
man, pay attention. This is like, right. Like, hello, McFly.
I know, McFly. Well, and you know, the thing is,
I love it.
Yeah. I just had kind of a light bulb
too. The benefit of being in California.
Right. I mean, he's got
people.
Exactly. All the production people who have a, you know,
cinematic backgrounds
on people who give a shit, who've got a lot riding on this too.
Yes.
You know, Hollywood and the movie industry in California is in a world of hurt right now because of the affordability, because of tariffs, because of there's so much on the line for that industry.
Economy in the world.
Right.
Like, California's like its own little country.
Exactly. And I kind of had this light bulby moment when I was watching him just now that, you know, the saying is Republicans fall in line, but Democrats have to fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to get Democrats to fall in love with him. Mm-hmm. Not romantically, but, like, you know what I mean? Like,
proverbially.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, this is how you do it.
It is.
And I
hope it's sustainable. That's my only thing. I hope that the social media trolling, I mean, it's entertaining as hell and it's great. And it's holding up a mirror to how asinine and ridiculous Donald Trump and his social media is. And the fact that MAGA just glosses over it as if it's normal.
Yeah.
I just don't know how long that's sustainable. I don't want it to get to the point where they overplay the hand. I don't know how you because you can't do this for 3 years. You know what I mean?
Well,
can't do it for 3 years.
But I do think that more people are going to start doing it too. I hope.
Yeah.
Even John Ossoff today was speaking on JD Vance. So JD Vance is in Atlanta, trying to sell the bill.
Yeah.
And this is what John Ossoff had to say.
This about JD Vance.
Whoop, just kidding.
Avatar of a new GOP that was for working class people in the United States. His legacy forever now is casting the decisive vote to throw millions of Americans off health care, throw seniors out of their nursing home beds, all to serve the wealthiest and most powerful people in the country. He has zero credibility as a champion for America's working class, and the damage control he's trying to do in Georgia this week is going to fall flat, and Georgians have already rejected this policy.
Well, that sounds like a good segue into, big, beautiful betrayal.
Let's find it.
I wonder who made an ad that sounds like that.
Who made an ad about that I'm trying to find on this computer that has 5 million things on it. Hold on. Sorry. It is here. Well, you know, and that's one of the things that he did, because he did do another. Oh, is this it? 30 seconds. Here it is. I'm going to play this.
Donald Trump betrayed you. Did you know Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill is taking away your health care? It's closing hospitals in your communities. It's kicking your mom out of her nursing home. It's taking food away from hungry children. And it doesn't even reduce our debt. All to make these guys richer. It was all a lie. Does that sound beautiful to you?
Well. I mean, we have that ad teed up and ready to go.
Yep.
We weren't able to run it in Georgia because it's funds contingent. So the more money we raise, the more we can run it.
Yep.
But it's there so that when JD Vance tries to go on these stupid trips to sell this thing, we control him with it. And we can also put it out there for the people, his people, the red state people that are like, wait a minute, what do you mean you're cutting our Medicaid? I mean, more rural red state hospitals and areas who voted for Donald Trump are impacted by this. So, it's the more folks support us, the more we can get it out there. But
That's
we can
right.
still, but it's good to see that our instinct, we made that ad a month ago, and to see that our instincts here is on point.
Exactly. And I just wanted to throw this comment up that JoJo's interview with Gavin Newsom was
Do you have a clip from it?
awesome. No, I
she
texted
didn't
her and
send it.
asked if she could send one. And I think I'm sure she's overwhelmed because
Yes,
her face and voice are on Fox News and on Ari Melber tonight. And like they're playing that interview everywhere. Cause he said, sometimes you got to just punch these sons of bitches in the face.
Yes.
And and
yes,
JoJo's just so great at this. And just if anybody doesn't know who JoJo from Jurors, Joanne Carducci is, she's a good friend of ours, and she is the co-host of Over It with us on Wednesdays and then Coffee and Conversation on Saturday mornings. And let me just tell you, this woman has the heart of gold.
Mm-hmm.
She cares so deeply about this country, about her family. She is a super mom, a single mom who's been through some really tough ordeals.
Yep.
And she is a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And she throws everything she's got at this.
And she's a tough Jersey bitch.
Hell yeah.
And that's why we get along. That's what we bonded over. And she has built everything that she's done, her whole social media, her Substack, all of that by herself, starting in 2020 as a single mom who wanted to make a difference. And she's doing that. And we're so proud of her. And she recently launched something called The Siren with a bunch of other Democratic creators.
Yep.
And they are killing it. And they just did this amazing interview with Gavin Newsom that's out everywhere. And it's driving the Fox News MAGAs crazy. And they're just like,
pearl clutching. And then also it's funny to hear Greg, what's his face?
Gutfeld. I know. Talk about Keebler elves. He's about to big.
Well, I mean, so am I, but like
no, but you're pretty and a woman.
He seems like the kind of person who tries to act tall. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a reason why they call it the Napoleonic complex, and they don't call it the Natalie complex. So go ahead.
But he's like, no, he goes like, I hope it's him because nobody likes him. And listen, I'm sure he's just like peacocking there, but like it also kind of shows the algorithm that they're in too.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm like, y'all aren't living in the same world as us.
No, well, that's clear.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
for all the reasons they're not living in the same world as us.
No.
But I like, to your destruction, Greg, whatever. And at least, even if it isn't him, right? Democrats understand, there are Democrats like Gavin Newsom, John Ossoff, who understand, J.B. Pritzker, who are trying to do the right thing.
Yes, even Kathy Hochul.
Yeah. And Kathy Hochul. I mean, again, surprised about the Kathy Hochul because, listen, I have been critical of Kathy.
Yeah.
Over the last several years, not feeling like she's doing enough.
Right. She's been playing it very safe.
Yeah. And I was
not
afraid
so much now.
No, I was afraid there for a second that she was going to bend the knee. And I was like, And I mean, she knows that she's going to be up against Ilyse Stefanik next year. We talk about Mike Lawler didn't get the endorsement from Donald Trump to go ahead because, he's got to kiss the ring, the Godfather shit with this. And, sorry, my husband is talking louder than ever. I don't know. I hope you can't hear it. And I'm sure has gotten some of the kissing of the whatever rings because, she's been waiting there patiently like a good girl for Donald Trump. And I do all the things because I'm a good girl. She has no personality, zero, and no morals. And I'm telling you right now, she has never had to run a tough campaign. Not ever.
She's about to find out because, the state of New York ain't New York 21.
Listen, no, it is not.
Good luck in Manhattan.
Well, this is what I'm saying. And this is why for me and for us, you think I'm not holding the folder with clips of her shit talking New York City? Because I will put that shit out. Because New Yorkers, you don't mess with us. No. You don't do it.
No,
you do not mess with us.
That's exactly right. Well, on that note, I think that we've had the badass bitch version of the stakes tonight.
Yes.
Of 2025. And, it's I think something that has re-energized all of us because there's been just so much going on that's been like draining.
Wind in our sails, Tara.
We needed it between being in Gloria Steinem's living room and having Cait Conley on.
Wait, just really quick. See my cat.
My cat. Which one is it? Is it Ollie?
That's Oliver. He never comes on the show.
Hi, Ollie.
Aww. Yes. He's very naughty today, but I wanted to make sure I pointed him out because he's never on.
Yes, he's never on camera. And Ollie being naughty is good. That means he's
good. So if anybody cares at home, my cat has IBD. He's 14 years old and he has inflammatory bowel disease. I didn't know it was a thing with cats, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
So he has troubles. But he's hopefully on the mend. And if anybody's got any advice about how to take care of a cat with IBD, because there's lots of stuff on Reddit and it all seems to contradict each other. So if anybody ever has advice for me, please let me know. Tag me.
I'll make sure my mom says something in the group chat.
Please. Because
I'm sure she'll have thoughts. My mom was a vet tech for 12 years, for those who don't know. And we had 21 cats that we'd rescued at one point in my life. We even named a cat 19 because we just started to run out of names. So I've been around cats and had been a cat person my entire life, besides my grandmother being a dog handler. So so my mom is the first go-to anytime we have a question about kitties. She usually has an answer, and if she doesn't know, she'll find it for you.
Well, right, because when he first got sick, I mean, I was beside myself. I didn't know. I was like, my cat's gonna die. I'm not ready.
And I felt you on that.
I know. And so you and your mom were so helpful to me to just kind of, keep my head in the game in a good way and ask all the right questions and be an advocate for my animal that can't be an advocate for himself. So, and and one last thing, if you subscribe to our newsletter, if you don't and want to, please go to our website, senecaproject.us, and sign up for our newsletter. Again, like, we're a small little team and we're trying to make sure that all the logistics of signing up and people getting welcome emails and all this stuff is working properly.
Yes.
We think we've got it now.
Yes.
So
there was a little glitch there. So for those who had signed up and were like, wait a minute, I'm not getting it. We figured out why. So
we figured out why. So
they come out on Wednesdays.
Exactly. And in my little fuel for the fight, I just want to recommend to people to watch on Hulu, because we're coming up on the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And this is the #1 watch show on Hulu right now. It's a docuseries about Hurricane Katrina, and it tells firsthand account from the journalists on the ground, the survivors, the community organizers, activists, or first responders, people that were part of the military that responded. It is whatever you thought you knew, you don't know half as much of the reality and the hell that these people really went through. So, and I think as we go through, we're going into this hurricane season, and FEMA has been gutted, and NOAA, and the National Weather Service, and the satellites.
They just decommissioned 2. That we have 6 weather satellites. They decommissioned 2 of them for whatever reason.
Right.
And so now we only have 4. So then, the redundancy, which is necessary in case 1 or 2 break down. Oh no, we don't have that anymore now.
Right.
I mean, it's just I don't.
Yeah.
So much. So
right. And that's why they say in this docuseries that Katrina, yes, was a natural disaster, was a Category 4 hurricane when it hit land, but it was a man-made catastrophe. It was failures from the government,
planning, and the response.
Right. All the response. I mean, so I just in moments like this, I'm reminded of how important it is that we have a functioning, funded federal government who wants to help the people. And I have zero faith in this administration. So Godspeed to everybody in the path of any of these things coming through. And just as a reminder and as out of respect, I think for the people who went through this, please check that out on Hulu. It's fantastic. So
yes, indeed. And we will play you guys out with our ad cheater to remind everyone that that's what Donald Trump does best. And he's trying to do it to you.
Yes.
Not if we can help it. All right, guys, we'll see you Saturday morning for Coffee and Conversation. Go check out JoJo's interview with Gavin Newsom. It's a lot of fun. And shout out to Ilyse Hogue, the good Ilyse, for joining us tonight. And please, if you can, support the great Cait Conley. Man.
What a badass.
What a badass. We love her. Let's get her elected, folks.
Yeah.
Up there in NY17.
Yep.
See you Saturday.
Bye, everybody.
Donald Trump betrayed you. Did you know Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill is taking away your health care? It's closing hospitals in your communities. It's kicking your mom out of her nursing home. It's taking food away from hungry children. And it doesn't even reduce our debt. All to make these guys richer. It was all a lie. Does that sound beautiful to you?
I wish he'd go into psychotherapy. I'd be so proud of him if he did.
Howard Stern, he's a weak guy.
His level of narcissism is so strong. He has trouble with empathy.
I knew him very well. I was on his show many times.
He was very susceptible to flattery.
It loosens him up.
I have to say it, if your penis had a face on it, it would be smiling.
It is smiling, Howard.
Now he's going to roll. He's going to open up to me.
Women are worse than men. They're more sexually aggressive than men.
She had a major breast reduction. The good news, nobody calls her anymore.
Young, 30's like a perfect age.
Until she's 35.
Yeah. Well, what is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
Do you think he's the same person that you interviewed?
Yeah, I do.
I used to think he was good.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Oh, it's so weird. Commenting on his daughter's looks is weird.
I watched that stupid View where you have these really dumb people.
Call him what he is, a convicted felon. How many counts, what?
I think you said 34.
34 counts.
This is not your grandfather's Republican Party.
I think he's the same exact person.
I'm sorry, women. She's a dummy.
Donald Trump is a cheater.
He cheats.
He cheats at golf.
He cheats like a mafia accountant.
He cheats on his wives.
On every wife he ever had.
He tries to cheat elections.
11,780 votes.
He cheats working people.
Small business people say they were stiff.
He cheats his supporters.
A scam to line his pockets.
Guess who he's cheating next? Look in the mirror. It's you.
If elected, Trump would be the oldest president ever inaugurated, but his campaign still refuses to release his detailed medical records.
What's he hiding? A heartbeat away from him is J.D. Vance.
Quite literally one heartbeat away from the presidency.
Trump is not a fit guy.
Heartbeat away from the presidency.
This man is not well.
Heartbeat away.
78 years old.
I will very quickly deflate defeat.
He may not make it.
The vice president becomes the president. Automatically.
What did we learn about what the Vance presidency would be like?
Roe versus Wade is an abomination.
He said rape is inconvenient.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Childless cat lady.
Project 2025.
It's a 900-page document. I guarantee there are things that Trump likes.
I'm very happy with the JD pick. Think of him as a member version of what we do.
Kevin Roberts is a friend of mine.
Bloodless.
if the left allows it to be.
What an amazing coup this would be for Peter Thiel.
You've benefited from your friendship with Peter Thiel.
Sure.
$15 million.
Do the people who fund your campaigns actually share your values?
He's palling around with people who are skeptical of the 19th Amendment.
If you got women to have more children.
J.D. Vance wants to allow the tracking of women's menstrual cycles.
You have people using abortion basically as another form of birth control.
Trump refuses to release even the most basic information about his health.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
Veterans will suffer.
It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before.
Friday night Pentagon purge.
President Trump has just fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Truly unprecedented.
And we take good care of our veterans.
Veterans are being fired.
We've been betrayed.
Absolutely betrayed.
A slap in the face.
I feel let down.
I feel like I'm not good enough.
We love our veterans.
The president referred to them as suckers and losers.
We're not losers. We're not suckers.
We care about veterans, but at the same time, we have a fiscal responsibility to use taxpayer dollars to pay people that actually work.
We don't deserve to be treated like this.
Perhaps they're not fit to have a job at this moment.
These people are brave, patriotic Americans that go to work every single day.
We have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work.
I put myself in harm's way for the country.
We put our whole entire life into public service, and all of a sudden, one man comes in and throws it all away.
Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
If Elon Musk does what he wants to do, between 200 to 300,000 veterans are fired this year.
Any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately.
Veterans make up 30% of the federal workforce.
Combat veterans. It's your neighbors. We want to work hard. We want to help people.
These warriors who shed their blood.
The Department of Veterans Affairs dismissing more than 1,400 probationary workers. Can you guarantee that veterans' benefits and care will not be affected by these cuts?
No, I can't guarantee anything.
I just feel like I've just been swept up in a dustpan and thrown out. I voted for Trump. A lot of us didn't deserve this.